Pazos is the head coach. For the visiting Adelaide Comets, in goal, number 1, Daniel Vaughan. Number 4, Nathan Demu. Number 5, Adam Lacornu. Number 7, Aladdin Irabona. Number 8, Lachlan Steed. Number 9, Roberto Fernandez Garrido. Number 10, Anthony Mavelin Bardos. Number 14, Nathan Andajanto. Number 21, Nicholas Konomopoulos. Number 25, Oscar Slattery. And number 66, Jaden Labasso. Head coach George Sonis. Referees for this match, Curtis Wordsworth. Assistant referees, Nick Elligan and Ellie Seaton. Fourth official, Tom Brinkworth. As I now welcome Simon Jimenez, who joins me in tonight. We were here last week. Simon was a bit more sombre than what the scene is tonight. Adelaide Olympic were relegated last time we were here at the hands of Adelaide City, and they'll be looking to end the season of the Adelaide Comets here tonight.
Yeah, well, looks like City trying to become dream crushers at this end of the season. Yeah, it was a little bit of a sombre note at the end of last week's game. We were sitting right behind where the Olympic fans were, and to end their season, that was a pretty sad result. But on the other end, City ending the night with celebrations, and that's what they hope to do tonight as well.
As Curtis Wordsworth kicks things off here at Adelaide City with the kickoff and in possession of the ball. They get a throw in early, and it's Tanzo with a bit of a rushed cross, which goes all the way across to the other side. It's picked up by Franchisi. So, what are you expecting from the game tonight, Simon?
Well, the two teams have been in complete opposite form, I guess. It was a bit of a horror start to the season for City. They even found themselves in the relegation zone at one point. Meanwhile, Comets started off with an absolute flyer, but the later part of the season is where they sort of lost form. Here's some interesting stats for you, though. City, leading up to round 11, that only scored 12 goals, conceding 13. Since round 11 to the end of the season, scored 27 goals, only conceded 12. On the flip side, Comets only conceded 10 goals leading up to round 14, and the last, I guess, third of the season conceded 20. So some issues defence-wise, which City will look to exploit tonight.
And I was just going to say, Adelaide City will look to exploit that because they've actually been in some ripping form, especially just if you look at their last 3 weeks after they lost their couple of games that they lost at the end of the season. They've won 4-0, 4-0 and 2-0, so they've scored 10 goals in 3 games.
28 points on the last part of the season as well, compared to 7 on the first half. So
yeah, so they sat in 11th at the halfway mark, which was a relegation zone, and they've flown all the way into the top 4 in the end. And here they are today with the home game, which they obviously won last week against Olympic, and Comets lost to Metro Star, so they switched positions. That's why we are here today. But it's Adelaide Comets with an early free kick, and it looks like it's going to be Irabona to deliver. No, it's not. It's a left-footed delivery into the box. Fooled me. The shot from distance by Slattery goes over the bar, but an early chance there with a free kick from a wide area, and a bit of a half, you could say half chance by the central defender.
One thing that I'm keen to see tonight is City had some success in their second half last week when they had a bit more of a fast and furious passing game. It's a little bit damper than it was last week tonight, though, so I'll be curious to see if they can get the same game plan off.
Adelaide City will restart with a goal kick. Oxenham with that one. It goes all the way through to Liai, and his little flick forward is for Dorber. He's got Tangia overlapping. He's got Liai there as well, but in the end it falls with Labasso, and he tries to find Irabona. He beats Karachia, and that's an early candidate for a yellow card.
Pretty blatant shirt pull there.
Is Curtis Wordsworth going to pull the card out early, or is he going to let it go and just issue a warning to Karachia there? He is. It's just a warning. Maybe another couple of minutes that might have seen a card issued there.
Yeah, you don't get any more blatant than that. Just keeping an eye on the score at the other game that's happening today as well. We're in the 88th minute of Modbury versus United, and it's 2-1 for Modbury at the moment.
Yes, I was watching that game before we came on air where Modbury were cruising and then Adelaide United pulled one back, and they will have some bad memories down there. Modbury, they were 4-0 up earlier in the year, and they conceded 4 goals in the last 20 minutes to draw against Adelaide United 4-4. So we've got Seb O'Neill and Mark Talbot calling that one, so they've got a bit of a grandstand finish coming up there in the last couple of minutes. Go around the state leagues, starting with the State League 2. It was Adelaide Uni beating Eastern United 2-1 earlier today, and the game that is still going in State League 2 is Modbury Vista 4-0 up against Northern Demons, which is a result I did not see coming at all, but I have just heard that Modbury Vista's had the goalkeeper sent off and there's still 15 minutes to go, so that'll be an almighty comeback if they were to score 4 goals. But here's Comets. It's Irabona. He clips one into the back post. Oh, he's just missed the header there. I think it was Mervyn Bardos who was at the back post. So Adelaide Comets on the front foot early. A couple of early balls into the box, and I get the sense, Simon, that might have been a little bit of an instruction from the coaching staff of Adelaide Comets is to get balls into the box early, especially with the slippery conditions.
Yeah, we mentioned a little bit earlier just the fact that it was the passing game that got City the advantage in the second half when they played Olympic last week. Not too sure whether they'll be able to implement that today. So those longer balls in, we already saw an example of that before. Keeper favouring a long ball and just trying to find a recipient at the end of it there, and a half chance resulted. But here's another one for Comets.
Another early chance. Ooh, flicked across by Steed. And Labasso is asking for a corner. Curtis Wordsworth not interested. Issues a goal kick.
I think if we're a little bit later in the game, that might have been a lot more threatening against City. I think maybe, Comets weren't able to capitalise on that. Maybe a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card, because the ball was loose in the area for a long time there.
Ball comes to Dorber. Coach is there to support. And Dorber just flips it forward looking for Brazan. There's one in the middle of the park by Coach here, but it's Comets again on the front foot. Attacking in waves to start this one at Adelaide Comets. The ball's flicked forward by Steed in a wider position. And Gianto now ends up with the ball. Just touching on those State League scores, we do have results in State League 1 from today, Simon, as well. Adelaide Blue Eagles 4-1 against West Adelaide. That is in deep in stoppage time, so I don't see West Adelaide getting anything out of that one. Their season will be over. And now I've just got confirmation that Cumberland United ended up putting a grandstand finish in at their home game. They were 3-0 down in the first 20 minutes to Salisbury United. It's ended up 3-2, so Salisbury have scraped home. Matt Taylor with a hat-trick in the first half, the leading goal scorer in State League 1. And I don't think I've seen anybody win 2 burgers in the 1 week, but he's a genuine chance because he has scored 2 absolute belters today there at Bailey Reserve. Chipped the keeper with a very audacious effort to seal his hat-trick. In fact, he chipped the keeper twice, if you want to put it down as 2 chips and a tap-in. So Salisbury, interesting enough, Simon, looking for back-to-back promotions if they can get to that grand final and either win it or face Bacala like we've spoken about. There'll be not many teams have done that in the past. I don't think history. They could go from State League 2 to State League 1 to NPL within the space of 24 months. So keep a watch on Salisbury United in the next couple of weeks now that they've progressed through.
Well, it's certainly impressive. I can't quite get past the fact that if he wins back-to-back Carl's Junior burgers, he'll be enjoying some chips, and he had a goal that was a chip today. So
yeah, bit of intended pun there.
Nothing goes with burgers like a chip.
As Adelaide City find themselves with a corner, it's going to be delivered by Brazan, who is in fact Adelaide City's leading goal scorer this year. He scored 10 goals. And I mentioned last week, it's a very decent effort for someone that finds himself relatively more so in the midfield. He's going to swing this one in with Nick Bucco being on the bench tonight. He's on set-piece duties. It's a decent delivery to the front post. Can't beat the first defender though. Comets happy just to clear. Gutierrez is there. Plenty of time to assess. Back in the Brazan direction. Couldn't quite flick it on.
That was interesting there. He favoured another long ball again. Last week we observed a big-time possession game from City, and we haven't seen that so far today. In fact, Comets holding more possession you'd think at this early stage. There's a cross.
Another great cross into the box out on that wide position.
Nico! Got the speed here, see.
throw in on the far side for Adelaide Comets. It's going to be Andijanto to take. Adelaide City tinking their lineup as well today, Simon. I did notice from last week they brought in 3 players. Dorba, Karachia and Abatu came back in. See Buko on the bench and also a couple of younger players that played their roles last week are on the bench, but also the experienced and championship winning Adam Pishkinari back on the bench tonight after a niggling injury he had last week. So they are well and truly at full strength, Adelaide City, for this one. But they're taking a little time to get into this, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. It's not the strong start that we saw from last week, certainly. Yeah, so 3 changes in all to their lineup, but same story for Comets as well. Daniel Vaughan, the keeper and captain.
Oh, it's falling here. It's Steed. He's in the box. It's 1-0 to Adelaide Comets. Just a nothing ball that was played across. Jaden Labasso tucked inside, played it forward. I think it took a deflection. And Adelaide Comets are awarded for their very, very, you could say, frenetic start, but they've been well on top.
Well, it's a completely different start to the game than it was last week. The City were playing it relatively conservative, but already we saw that dangerous corner there where the ball just had too much time in the box there and just a little bit disorganised at back this time, and Comets just able to capitalise on it. Great start for Comets, 1-0 up just 9 minutes in.
Just looking at the replay, it looked like it was actually Stokes for Adelaide City who looked like he was going to clear the ball, then he let it go, and it's just had the perfect amount of weight on it for Steed to not even break stride, and Adelaide Comets find themselves 1-0 up. And it's definitely not against the run of play. They've been dominant the first 10 minutes here. Adelaide City find themselves with an uphill battle now.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond here, because it hasn't been the best of starts from them. And already from the kickoff, looks like they're finally actually going to try play from the back for the first time that they have so far today. There's that long ball, though.
There's a long ball in the direction of Latanzio, but now it falls for Liai. Can they equalise? They do! What a start we've got here at Adelaide City Park. Bang, bang. 2 goals in 45 seconds of play.
Liai with an absolute cracker there. I wouldn't have thought they would have responded that quickly. And what a celebration to match it as well. A couple of flips there and one worth celebrating. We're watching the replay now. Header clearance, not really cleared properly from Comets. Liai finds himself at the right spot and just launches it. And that's what happens when you just relax for that second against a quality team like Adelaide City. And 30 seconds later, it's all tied up again.
Well, I'm an honest person. I'm going to eat my words because I wasn't the biggest fan of him when he first came. I thought he took too long to get himself into this league, but he's well and truly shut me up today with that strike. It was just the pure power that beat Dan Vaughan in goal, because he had the post covered, but there was enough power on it to beat him. He ended up on his knees, but he does possess that pace, Liai, and I think with all these long balls we're seeing is that Adelaide City have noticed that with Damu and Slattery at the back, it's not their ideal partnership, and it isn't the quickest centre-back partnership. So with Latanzio's speed, Liai's speed, and you've got Karachia who floats through the middle, Brazan, they're just so lethal, Adelaide City, aren't they?
I think the interesting thing for me there was just the way Liai was able to set himself up so quickly. He was just there, ready to take the shot, ready to scoop up that loose ball.
You got some news, do you, Simon?
Yeah, all tied up at full-time Mowbray against Adelaide United, so must have been a really late goal, possibly even in extra time. But yeah, things all tied up. Mowbray and Adelaide United 2-2. So they'll go to extra time now, and looking like Mowbray just about secured their passage to next week, but not the case now.
Could there be a case of deja vu for Mowbray with extra time and possible penalties, Simon?
Well, after that
we'll
performance
get back to
over
that
in
after
Melbourne
this
for
free
Australia.
kick. It's whipped into the box here. It's Comets again, but Dakota Oxenham comes at time and punches clear. Laurie Latanzio hunts that one down. He had a bit too much pace for Konomopoulos there. The Cornu finds the Konomopoulos. Urabon and some space, but they don't use him. Instead, they go all the way back. It could end up all the way back with the goalkeeper here. I think they're going to. It does end up with Vaughan. He ends up just clearing it like I think he wanted someone else to do a few seconds earlier. That's a great run by Irabona. Is he onside? Referee keeps his flag down, goes across the keeper. And Oxenham doesn't have to make the save. And that looked like it was very, very close. It looked like he was half a yard offside there.
That whole little passage was a little bit frantic. There was a frantic attack from Adelaide City and then a bit of a frantic defensive passage there from Comets. Ended up with a keeper clearance and all of a sudden they were on the go again and threatening for goal. So, like you said, though, it looked like it could have been offside, but flag was down and he's managed to have a crack at it.
It was just a long ball it wasn't even a long ball. It was almost a rush clearance, but all it took was just a great touch by Marilyn Bardos in the middle of the park. And away they were. And again, we talk about the attacking prowess that Adelaide City have. Adelaide Comets aren't far behind. They've got Irabona, who's electrifying with his pace on this side, and then they've also got Jaden Labassa, who overlaps, who has also had a very good season, scoring 9 goals. Irabona, he's scored 6, so this right-hand side seems to be their favourite attacking side when you look at the stats, Simon.
Well, on the flip side, City had a lot of success last week with their possession game and playing out from the back, and it looks like that's not going to be the sort of game that they can get off today, especially with this wetter weather. And so far from what we're seeing, if things are going to be a little bit frantic, it may be Comets that have the advantage here, and they're lining up at the moment for a free kick.
So another free kick for Adelaide Comets. And it's in a dangerous position again. All their free kicks have been in their front third so far. This one goes out wide, so it's Endajanto to try and deliver. Damu's there. He gets a little swivel shot away, but it doesn't put Oxenham under any pressure. And again, that long ball, looking for that pace of Latanzio. He's on the end of this one. No, he's not. Vaughan comes out and clears. But you can see that game plan is well and truly clear, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, they're definitely searching for some speed at the front there to just capitalise.
Here is Labasso. He's getting his cross in, but that is goalkeeper practice with that kind of cross. Got to keep that away from Oxenham. He's a big unit and he knows how to use his area. So,
well, 15 minutes in, I think we know how the rest of this game's going to look. Sort of end to end. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Can they keep it up for the next 80 odd minutes? Is the question. To throw in on the far side, Endajanto to take. Goes all the way back to Lacornu. Picked up in the middle by Franchisi. Finds Carachia. Carachia has got company, which is Economopoulos, but he gives away the foul. No, he doesn't. The referee pulls it back for the earlier foul, which must have been on Franchisi. So Adelaide City, after that goal, sort of seem a little bit more relaxed now, even though Adelaide Comets are still coming in waves every second opportunity they get.
Well, they're keeping really good pressure, Comets, and it looks like they're sort of out-muscling City on a lot of occasions defensively. But you would think that City's got the speed advantage up forward, so just Comets really going to have to keep that tight pressure.
The Rock plays it across all the way to Gutierrez, and that ball that caused trouble the first time, he does it again. And it was almost the exact same thing that we saw before, where Gutierrez picks the ball up in some space, Simon, and just looks for that switch to Latanzio, who I think, in fairness, knows he's got Damu beat for pace, doesn't he?
Beat for pace, for sure. Looks like there's a definite height disadvantage there, so I think if they're just defending that dangerous area there, they might be able to just sort of keep him positionally out of too much of a dangerous spot there. But, yeah, those long balls are going to come all day long, so.
Vaughan in no rush to take this goal kick. Looking maybe just to settle the game down a little bit. Maybe the legs are going already, especially on a wet pitch. I don't expect that tempo to stay for the whole 90 minutes, especially if we have to go to extra time. there's always that potential. Here's Leai. He has to go on his left foot this time. Didn't look like it was going to trouble the goalkeeper, but he wins a corner. So Adelaide City now having their chance to go forward and cause some trouble. Again, Brezan trots over.
Favours the short ball.
Short. He's got Leai there to help him. Oh, a little back heel. That's clever. Brezan can't beat that first defender there, but that was a clever back heel by Leai.
I think it sort of shows that City do prefer the shorter style of play, which is obviously not what they're doing more broadly in their attack today. So it'll be interesting to see how much success they have playing those long balls in, or if they do switch things up a little bit later in the game.
Dorber to take the throw in. Latanzio's there. Is he going to have a crack? He does. Ooh. But he completely miscues it. The radar is well and truly off, and that ends up on the far side as assistant referee Ellie Seaton signals a throw in for Adelaide Comets.
Well, pretty active start to the game for Latanzio. Seems like a lot of the attack's going to be on his shoulders.
So it's 1-1 here, coming up to the 21st minute we're in. So it still feels like we've nearly played 45 or 50 minutes. It's been that quick of a game. We're only 20 minutes in. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's been frantic. It's been a little bit loose at times so far.
Here's Irabona picking it up. Karachia again with a little tug back, but he's lets him go because I think he knew he might have picked up a yellow card if he did pull him back. On the far side now, it's ball into the box, and it's going to be catching practice as well. So, again, that long ball. Oh, Latanzio's quick, but I don't think he's that quick. Paul Pezos gives the signal of approval to his goalkeeper, saying that's exactly what we want to do. Just need to find the radar and the coordinates to make sure that stays in play.
Well, even if that ball had been a little bit more towards the centre, I get the feeling that Latanzio would have sort of been caught in no man's land there.
It's almost like they want to move it quickly, but because Latanzio's inside at the time, he doesn't have enough time to get out for Oxenham to release it. Otherwise, by then, Comets are going to drop back and have numbers behind the ball.
And just watching even that little passage there when he was defended 2-on-1, just Comets did a really good job of keeping that pressure on him, and even though he had the ball and even though he's got pace and he's good with his feet, it didn't quite look like it was threatening enough. I think they're going to try to keep him just well contained in that little corner. Just watching Latanzio there at the moment, and Dimu's stuck to him like glue. He's watching the ball, but he's got an eye on him out of the corner of his right eye there.
Here goes Comets now with a chance to press. Oh, Oxenham takes a touch.
Oof.
He gets the pass away in the end. He couldn't clear it, so it ended up as a pass. Stokes now looks for Leai, but he can't beat the defender. Paddy Karachia wins the header, though. Leai wins the second header. Play on, says the referee. Comets get possession back. We do have a full-time result in State League 1 between Adelaide Blue Eagles and West Adelaide. That ended up 4-2, so Adelaide Blue Eagles progressing through with Salisbury to take on Playford and Bacalla respectively next weekend. There's also been a goal at New Spot Stadium, and Demons have pulled one back with 5 minutes to go, so it's 4-1 there in the State League 2 game where Adelaide Uni progressed earlier today. It's going to be another free kick though, Simon, for Adelaide Comets. This one's a little bit further away. Endajanto stands over the ball. Oxenham's already on his 6-yard box. That's not going to trouble anyone. He gets all the way through though. Demu's there. Irabona's there. Irabona wins the header. Not sure how he won that header against Dorber, but he did. One. Labasso tries to deliver. Dorber might just clip on over the top for Latanzio to chase. He does. Vaughan's onto this though. He's there. Oh, and he had to win that. Could have been trouble either way. It could have been a distinct colour card possibly, or even an open goal for Laurie Latanzio to tap into.
Well, that was an interesting little minute there. free kick that shouldn't have really been too dangerous. Sort of fumbled from Adelaide City and down the feet of a couple of different Comets players. So, again, just not managing to win the ball cleanly at the back, and Comets probably getting a bit more of a look in than they should have had.
Basso with his third or fourth opportunity to deliver, and he just can't quite get a decent ball into the box. But maybe he might even get another go here. Gets time and space. This time he looks to link up with Irabona. He does. Irabona flicks it through. It's Steed, the goal scorer of the first goal. They let him have a shot. It's blocked by a rock. Jared Abichu picks it up. Laurie Latanzio now will pick this one up and look to turn Demu inside out. He can't do so, but he wins a free kick. Maybe just a little bit too physical there. Heard a little slap. Not sure if it was in the face or the arm, but the referee just saying that was a free kick.
I think it might have been on the chest, but again, just out-muscled, even though they did win the free kick in the end. It sort of shows what Nathan Demu's trying to do there, and just keep Latanzio just on his toes and just say, look, I'm not going to give you too much. Whenever you get possession, I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an old school case of man or ball, as they used to say. If you can't get the ball, you take the man, and I think that's probably the only way it's going to work out tonight. Brazan wins that one. Dorba finds Latanzio. Dorba, now he's running at Demu. He gets past him. Is he going to get a shot away? He's on the edge of the box. Slips Franchese in on the right-hand side, but just a little bit too much on it. Forces him a bit too wide, but he keeps it in. Gutierrez finds Abichu. All the way back to Stokes. And so Adelaide City found themselves in a position to have a shot, and in the end they've now just happy to keep possession.
Well, it looks like they're sort of reverting to what they were doing last week at this point, but I get the feeling that they will look at some point just for that long ball.
Gutierrez will look for that switch ball again. This time he finds Dorba, but I don't think it was intended for Dorba. I think Paddy Carachia might have been the player he was looking for, and he probably should have left it for him there, Dorba.
Yeah, Carachia was floating around there, sort of running in circles, trying to find a little bit of space, so he's definitely working for it, and he's working for it here as well.
I felt that one from here. Paddy got that one in the Never region. Going to have to run that one off. Here's Paddy Carachia. It's the only way. There's no treatment for that kind of stuff. And that's a strong challenge by Labasso from behind. There was no studs involved, luckily, because otherwise I think he might have found himself at the end of the yellow card. It's just going to be a talking to by Curtis Wordsworth. So 25 minutes in and still being quite lenient, the referee.
Yeah, I thought he was reaching for the pocket there, but he hasn't. I think when it's this sort of weather, it's going to end up being just that little bit clumsier than you'd usually expect to see. City now lining up for the free kick. They've been only had a couple so far compared to Comets, having about 5 so far.
I think this is their first one in any real decent attacking areas. It's still a fair way from goal. Brazan is over it. He's going to clip this one in to the back post. He's got players there. It flicked on, and that's a great save by Vaughan. It took 2 touches, and in the end, the flag goes up 4 offside. So the second touch looked to be in an offside position. But nevertheless, it was a great save.
I was watching as he lined up for that kick, just the height difference between Comets and Adelaide City strikers. The advantage definitely goes to Comets, but still managed to find a City head in that. Didn't see whose head it found, but very threatening there. Daniel Vaughan called into action. And it looks like we've just had a goal from Mobbery against Adelaide United as well. So they got a 3-2 lead at the moment in extra time.
Looks like the clock stopped.
The clock stopped, there, but so the goal counts.
Leai's on the end of this one. He might have another go here. Cuts in, gets back onto his right. Finds... No, he doesn't. He has a go on his left. He's clipped it in. And he's... In the end, it's ended up being a half shot, half chip. Sorry to cut your news off there. So Modric Jets 3-2 up, and I think that is in the second half of extra time. I may be wrong.
Yeah, not quite sure, seeing as the clock stopped there, but...
Sorry, it was a 102nd minute goal, so they're still in the first half of extra time. So a couple more minutes before their swap ends. But a crucial goal, nevertheless. I get the feeling that Modric won't want that to go to penalties because they will have demons of the past. As Liai is on the front here, has a go on his left foot. He had Franchisi on his right-hand side, but chose to go with his non-preferred left foot. Maybe a little bit of a wasted opportunity for Adelaide City to go 2-1 up there.
Well, we've seen Liai's strength so far this game, just the way when he's got a little bit of space and the ball in front of him, he's really able to wind up and generate a lot of power quickly. That's how he got his first goal, and that's probably about the third shot he's had. Those long balls in if he does find himself in possession, and
Irabona clips that one in.
Quickly.
He's definitely a real, you could say, asset with the way the game's panning out tonight because of his pace, and Adelaide Comets aren't going to be able to keep up, but you just get the sense that the longer this game goes and the longer that Demu and Lecornu have to deal with the pace, they're going to succumb to that eventually. And then you think about the attacking prowess that Adelaide City's still got to come off the bench. They've got Pishkinari and Buko, so they've got a lot of options tonight. I think they're at full strength.
I think Buko played off the bench against Metro Stars as well, and that was the big 4-0 win for them, so it worked quite well in that instance. But yeah, it's interesting the comment you make about Comets defending as well. What's sort of working against Latanzio probably isn't so much against Liai. Throwing for Adelaide City. Liai almost finds himself in possession again.
Sorry, bit of a technical difficulty there. I think I lost my sound for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I lost it as well, but we're back.
We're good to go. So half an hour played here. The customary 15-minute, every 15 minutes the players go warm up. Pishkinari and Book have to warm those old legs up a little bit more tonight.
They're paying attention, which is good.
Experienced legs, that is. Bonner now on the ball. I hope that comment doesn't come back to bite me at some stage. Oh, and there's a little bit too much on that one. So Adelaide Comets haven't got that freedom they had in the first 10 or so minutes now. Adelaide City putting a lot more pressure on. But I think Adelaide City may have been a little bit shocked by the way Adelaide Comets may have come out, because you think about the way that Adelaide City were last week. They didn't have any pressure for about 60 minutes last week. There was a very much on their terms for the first 60, 70 minutes until Adelaide Olympics realised they had to come out and score goals.
Well, once they realised that,
different, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think last week was a little bit strange one. City were really happy to just hold possession. They were really in no rush throughout that whole first half. But yeah, Comets come out firing so far, and they're still continuing to do so. City managing to have a little bit more momentum now, but it's still a pretty end-to-end kind of game. And both teams really just trying to release that one player forward and open something up. Like you alluded to before, we're 31 minutes in, and it seems like we've had a lot longer played than that, just the way it's been. It hasn't been the composed possession sort of game that we saw last week. So far it's been quite frantic and a lot of action happening both ways.
It's going to be Brazan to deliver to the back post, but that's, I thought it was going to be catching practice for Vaughan, but intended to catch, but then he just punched it. Dorber's there now to win that one. Falls for Liai. And Adelaide City, it's an Adelaide Comets player who's gone to ground. I don't know if they're asking for an elbow or if they're asking maybe for the advantage to have been paid, but there was looks like a head injury, so the ball will come back.
Just going back to that free kick a moment ago, it was an interesting one from Brisson. I'm not sure if it was meant to be a shot, but it ended up being one. Yeah,
it wasn't really anything in the end, was it? It was more so a miscued free kick. There wasn't much pace on there. I think the only thing that Adelaide City really lack is an out-and-out sort of left footer. They don't have any. Buko, obviously, with his experience when he's on, he can play both feet and use that to his advantage when he has to take set pieces. So he's the only real one. The rest of them out there are all predominantly right-footed, so that's why you're seeing those balls clipped sort of with no real pace on them. They're just going to the back post unless they're swinging in. So maybe something for them to think about in the transfer window. So I'm sure there's a few left-sided players out there who would love to come to Adelaide City.
Especially with the momentum they've had on the back half of this season. And especially when they're challenging teams like Metro Stars who finished top and with 4-0 wins in the last round of the season.
I'm sure I'll get a chatting to afterwards by their technical director, Mr. Angelo Costanzo. I mean, my knowledge is not warranted here. Does a wonderful job, does Angelo Costanzo. See the players they've brought in this year, a lot of them have come on the basis that he's here. He's put together a really formidable squad. They didn't kick it off very well at the start of the year. Of course, they had a lot of trouble trying to, well, not trying to, they created chances, but they couldn't find the back of the net. There's not going to be a free kick here. So Adelaide City, Simon, they went from rounds 1 to 9 with just 2 wins and then drew against Metro, as you mentioned. They drew that one there in round 10, 2-2. They went on to win round 11, 6-1 against Adelaide Olympic at Apex Stadium. And that really was a turning point. They were still sitting 11th at that time with that 6-1 victory. But their next 11 weeks were just absolutely top-notch, which is why there wasn't much panic at the club. They knew they had the squad, they knew they had coaching staff, they knew they had everything to do the job, and now it's all coming together for them. They'll look to progress here tonight and make it through to the week 2 and 3 of the finals, where we'll see 2-legged games played against home and aways. So I believe after tonight, the 2 teams that aren't playing, which is Campbelltown and Metro Stars, they'll get to choose if they want to play home first or away. It's an interesting one, isn't it? What do? Do you come to Adelaide City Park first, or do you play at your home ground first? It's interesting, isn't it? Because Adelaide City are been very good here over the last 3 months. So
yeah, well, it's a tricky one, and they've even been good away. Again, I'll point back to the last round of the year, or the second to last round of the year, which is that 4-0 win against Metro Stars, but that was at home for them. So, I mean, home ground can mean something sometimes, but it's definitely no guarantee that you're going to get the result.
Yeah, that 4-0 win that they had against Metro Stars was, no one really saw it coming, but at the same time, you probably thought if there was anyone that was going to do it, was going to be Adelaide City, as Entijanto clips this one in with no real pressure on the keeper. Or is there? Yes, there is, because it's a free kick. Just going back to that 4-0 win that Adelaide City had a few weeks ago, I did hear some insight that Metro Stars had a 2 or 2.5 hour review on that game. They were not happy at all. So my intel is that that's fact. So just sort of tells you the standards as well, doesn't it? I mean, is that going overboard, or is that just the standard that you want to have around your club? I'm sure people will, if you're Adelaide City, you're going to thrive on that, aren't you? You're going to go, look what we've done.
Yeah, I guess if you're Adelaide City, you want to have that feeling of having their number, don't you? But, Metro Stars expect a certain level. So, yeah, and you go down 4-0 at home, it's really unacceptable. Especially the way it happened too, all those goals scored in quick succession.
That one's ended up at the bar.
It's knocked over someone's chips.
Yeah, so there's a bucket of chips and a pint of beer that's just gone flying. That's where that one's ended up. It wasn't Brazan's best effort.
Going back to the form throughout the year, it sort of shows the ability of the staff to sort of have conviction with their decisions as well, that they can just wait that out and not be too dramatic with the way they react and just have trust in the fact that the team's going to build at the right time, which is exactly what they've done. Meanwhile, it's just pretty remarkable that Comets have done exactly the opposite. Their season kind of just, well, I won't say fell off a cliff because they still finished in that top 6, but just form-wise, how things really changed at round 14. Only 7 points won off of the last, however many what that was, 8 rounds. And a lot of draws throughout the year as well. You change a couple of those around and then you're standing on the ladder's quite different. But I heard personnel-wise they were affected a little bit by the allure of a European summer for some of their players. So
Bonner clips this one in. Can he find a teammate? No, he can't. Franchisi picks it up at the back post, and again, that long ball outlet. Long to Liai with his pace. Oh, and they're in here. The corner you can't clear. Liai's there. Can he find Latanzio? No, he can't. It's still in the box. Liai's there. Latanzio! Liai! Oh, and in the end, it's last-ditch defending by Adelaide Comets. Paddy Cartier picks it up. Brazan's there. Dorba. Brazan. Straight into the hands of Daniel Vaughan. That sequence of plays got me up and about, that's for sure.
I would have thought Liai would have had a shot with that first crack there, but decided to lay it off. It was that same sort of angle as he scored that first goal. And the ball was sort of set up in the same way in front of him running onto it, and just, I would have thought he'd have a crack, but not to be.
That one there was spooned up into the air. It took a little bobble just as he went to kick it. Daniel Vaughan. Carachia wins that, nearly cleans up referee Curtis Wordsworth. While we're talking about referees, of course, it's finals football here in South Australia, but that doesn't mean we change our tone towards, or attitude towards the referees, just because there's a bit more online to, or a bit more to play for in the next few weeks. We mentioned earlier in the year, referees are what hold our game together here in South Australia and all around the world, which is why we must continue the initiative that we started this year, where we respect the referee campaign and continue and implore all spectators, players, coaches and club staff to appreciate the time, effort and energy that goes into being a referee. All the junior match officials who are under the age of 18 will be wearing an orange armband as Latanzio's in on goal. And it's 2-1 to Adelaide City. Speaking of...
It's amazing how quickly things can change.
That just happens so quickly. We'll get back to the referee readout and we'll get that done in the second half. But it was just a long ball, and again, Lacornu caught out. Laurie Latanzio. I'll tell you what, Simon, we've been talking about Adelaide City's form in the last half of the season, but in the first half of the season, that there was not ending up in goals, and that is the absolute difference between where Adelaide City finished and where they were at the halfway mark, because Laurie Latanzio was getting chance after chance after chance earlier in the season. He couldn't quite find the back of the net, but I tell you what, he's found the back of the net tonight. And Adelaide City, after going 1-0 down early, find themselves 2-1 up as we approach half-time.
Well, he expertly controlled that. That long ball came in, took that touch to just set himself, and then it was just in the right spot for him to get that strike. And it was in a similar spot to where Liai hit his goal a little bit earlier. So 2-1 up as we approach half-time. Karachia's got some gusto about him.
Yeah, so Adelaide City up and about a little bit now as we approach the 43rd minute.
I was about to say the game had sort of reached a bit of a, I wouldn't say stalemate, but it didn't have the action that it had for maybe the first 30 minutes of that first half. It started to sort of slow down a little bit, but how quickly things can change, and City can net that goal, and things are looking a little bit different as we head towards half-time.
So Marilyn Bardos, I don't think that was the intention of that free kick, because it's gone all the way across the other side for a throw-in. There's a little bit of afters on that far side. Franchisi and Endijanto tangle up. So we're approaching half-time. Adelaide City have not only fought their way back, they now hold a 2-1 lead as we go into half-time. Still 3-2 between Modbury at Smith Partners Stadium. So Adelaide Comets with possession will look to just maybe hold a bit of possession and get an equaliser here, and they won't want the damage to increase, but thought they were going to get a chance there, but the linesman puts his flag up for offside. I believe we're going to have 2 minutes of additional time once we click over to 45. Just got a little signal there from Tom Brinkworth, who's our fourth official tonight. So there'll be 2 minutes to play when we tick over 45. And you sense some that Adelaide City would be very, very happy now just to get into the sheds at 2-1 up after the little bit of a poor start, you could say. They're a little bit slow out the blocks, but they've come home strong in this back end of the first half.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not the start they would have wanted, especially when they went 1-0 down, although it wasn't 1-0 down for very long at all. But 2-1 up going into half-time, and the weather looking a little bit different to what it was at the start of the game. There'll still be a bit of a damp deck out there, but no rain at the moment. Things are starting to dry out a little bit, so might be enough to give them some confidence to hold a little bit more possession in the second half. But here's Comets on the attack.
Looked like a hand was in play there by Labasso, but Wordsworth was sort of caught blindsided, and I think Nick Elligan had already turned to face the play that was coming, so no one really saw it. The Rock's just happy to clear it. He finds Liai. He's given time to turn. He turns again inside. He's got no options though. He's going to come all the way back to Yared Abichu. He goes all the way back to Oxenham, so they're more than happy just to take this lead into half-time. As we are now in stoppage time, as I said, I believe we're going to play 2 minutes additionals here.
Well, while we said City will probably be happy to show a little bit less urgency and a bit more patience in the second half, you can bank on Comets doing just the opposite. They came out firing, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen when they come out for the second half as well.
So these two teams, as we approach half-time, locked at 2-1 to Adelaide City. First minute of additional time's up. We're into that second minute now. But they played each other during the year, and Comets won 1-0 the first time round, and then Adelaide City with a 2-1 win in round 14, which is currently the scoreline here. So get the feeling though this one is yet to see the last of the goals, Simon. I think there's more in this one.
I think it's still anyone's game, yeah. Comets have had their opportunities, even though they've only managed to find one goal. The amount of times they've found themselves in threatening positions.
Well, they look like it come off of Labasso's head. He told Vaughan I think he knew it come off his head, so he yelled out to his goalkeeper to keep it in. As we approach now the 47th minute, Wordsworth looks at the watch. I think he may have had enough. So 47 minutes on the dot, we play in the first half. And Adelaide City, after a slow start, as we mentioned, Simon, they take a 2-1 lead into half-time. So it was an early goal to Steed, and then Adelaide City, through Rafael Lai, literally 45 seconds later, equalised, and then Luis Laurie Latanzio fired a 2-1 lead for Adelaide City at the break. As we go into the sheds, we're going to take a quick break, maybe just try and keep a little bit warm, and we'll see you in the second half.
At half-time in the RAA National Premier League SA Elimination Final between Adelaide City and Adelaide Comets, the score is currently 2-1 to Adelaide City.
It's never too late to improve your strength, balance, well-being and independence. Our Strength for Life program encourages all older South Australians to start moving and enjoy an active lifestyle, make friends, build strength and inevitably age well. Strength for Life sessions are offered in almost 100 locations across South Australia, with new sites opening all the time. Check out the KOTA.SA website to find your nearest location.
Strength for Life is an individualised program which is delivered in a group setting. We aim to keep older South Australians connected with their community, preventing social isolation and also keeping their bodies strong, flexible, managing falls and keeping them engaged. We're super excited to be partnering with Football SA at this state-of-the-art location. It's a beautiful venue. It will really benefit the local community through the Northfield and Jeps Cross surrounding areas to be able to access Strength for Life. And together we are working to improve everyone's futures.
Welcome all to the Summit Sports and Recreation Centre for the round 2 all to Campbelltown. They lost 2-0 at home to Modbury last weekend, so that put a little stutter in their course for the last couple games of this season. But a big game like this away from home.
And they'll go up to 6. They'll leapfrog Beargrad and Croydon, who have both got 25 points.
We're underway here. That's Jovanovic and Ayubi leading the line for Adelaide United. Of course, we've got a couple of other ins this week. Johnny Yule tackling with the eye now. And it'll be Stanisic to come away with it. Another poor giveaway that time to Gutierrez. What a great save from Ethan Cox there.
Fantastic save, but what a strike from Gutierrez as well. The ball just broke him. Just
time in that wing, and they're still battling it out. And still stays in as well. Crawford might get a second opportunity. He's gone past him. Finds Jovanovic into the box. Left-footed strike. Luka Jovanovic. 7 goals for the season now. And that's why he's the leading marksman for our Adelaide United.
That was a great strike to the far post, wasn't it? Curled in with a great angle of it, didn't we? Curled it into this to that far post and beyond the reach of Oxenham, and that is a hell of a reach that he's got too. So to beat him there, fantastic shot.
They always go short from corners, so now it's Yule, edge of the box. We've seen him crack it from here.
Oh.
It looks like it might have got a deflection out for another corner, but he was looking for another screamer there, Johnny Yule. Here's Crawford with an excellent ball to Garuccio. He's found his way in behind. The rock's almost there. Just past the post from Garuccio, though.
Little stab with the left foot. It was a toe poke, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that got away from him there, and obviously he's just had a little bit of extra speed to get on the end of it. And both teams have been playing to the conditions quite well. Now it's Leai, edge of the box. His first strike and goal. Left-footed strike that Cox has claimed, who's near. Goes far post for Dorban now. Great save, though, from Cox. He stayed on side as well. I'm sure the Adelaide United backline were wondering how he got away from them all. And top scorer at this venue for visiting teams. In the NPL at least. But he's obviously scored here on two occasions. And these days, Garuccio's now crowded out by Adelaide City numbers. But he's done enough pressure to win it again. It's Luka Jovanovic going one way, then the other. Enough time to shoot. He hasn't. And the referee's pointed to the penalty spot.
Creepers, I don't think that. I'm surprised at that. Look, all respect to the ref. He's made the decision. He's not going to change his mind, but...
almost a save there from Dakota Oxenham, but it's found its way into the top left corner. It's 2-0, and that's 2 for Luka.
Yeah, Oxenham a bit upset with himself. He did get a hand to it. Good goalkeeping, and he's a big guy. He'd be hard to beat from anywhere, I think, but Oxenham a bit unlucky. Got a hand to it. Not quite enough to push it out to the side. And
for Adelaide United now. He's got Garucho coming with the overlap. He's going to float it into the near post, far post. It goes to Yaya Dakuli with a tap in on his left foot. And as we just mentioned, Luki Ivanovic loves this venue. No one loves him more than Yaya Dakuli. 3 goals in 3 years, David.
Wow. Oh, what a celebration. Look, I think that might just be it for Adelaide City. I think they really struggled to try and be clinical up front, and now they find themselves 3-0 down. And
Booker now sets to deliver in a dangerous spot. What a save from Ethan Cox. As well on the broadcast as well, they did mention. Oh, sorry, there's Luki Ivanovic has nipped that one in. Looking to find somebody, or he's going to go for a hat-trick. He might. Luki Ivanovic! There it is, 3 for the man, 3 for the number 9, and that's back-to-back hat-tricks for Luki Ivanovic.
Fine finish, and Adelaide City backed off again. I mean, this is what they were doing, this is what I was talking about before. They sort of backed off and they let him come through, and I thought he was going to play it across the face of goal, and maybe City did as well, but in the end he's had a shot that's beaten Oxenham from a fairly tight angle, but yeah, they just backed off and gave him the freedom of...
Barker, it's not too rural compared to a couple of other games that play in rural venues, but it's only about 25-30 minutes from the city, and everything east side as well, so another big game here at Mount Barker. Adelaide United that finished 4-0 win over Adelaide City, with the highlight being, I'm sure you can't take the man of the match away now from Luki Ivanovic.
The Matildas are on fire, and the Socceroos have the breakthrough.
Welcome to Kilburn Sportsplex. For Football SA's broadcast, they're led out by tonight's referee, Mark Padros, and the assistant referees are Noah Dempsey and Mark Dempsey. Both teams are in their... just waiting on the whistle, and there it is, and we are away. Early touches for the back line, and maybe get an early shot away, a chance for City. West Adelaide trying to clear. It's come out to Atkins. Just wide. Good start for City. Is this a chance for Burns to get onto the ball? Abby Burns. It comes into the shot. She can take a shot. Burns, excellent save. It comes to Blackett. It's a goal. It's a goal for Nicole Blackett. And who better to score the opening goal in the WNPL at Kilburn? In the minds of all of West players. But they're under pressure now from Dorber. Dorber might equalise. She's done really, really well. That's a tremendous goal by Chelsea Dorber. Pete is ahead of her. Gray wants to get it into Guajardo. It's a good ball. Pete! It's just wide. McCauley wants to get it up onto the attacking left. And that's where Guajardo is, who's swapped with Seaton. Guajardo! Coming out to Burnett. And Gray tries the shot. No problem there for Leon. Johns is overlapping. Macri decides to go forward and get it to Burnett. Burnett! Good save, Lucas. Good move by West, though. But Noto, her ball's only found Guajardo here. Guajardo will go the shot. Noto, oh, she had to dive in the end. Now Pete and McFarlane are there. Takes on Burnett. It's a good ball through. Dorber goes the shot. Saved by Noto. Here's Hodgson for West. Gets a good cross in. And it might come out to Mitchell. But it's blasted wide. It's back with Hodgson. Mitchell gets it in board. That's a nice ball. Blackett. Nicole Blackett. Oh, yes! It's a classic Blackett goal, and she gets her second, and West are back in front. Macri's onside here. And Mullen is bursting in the middle. It's the first time ball. Mullen! Great move, West. Abby back in board. But, oh, it's come through to Pete. The flag stays down. Noah Pete! Straight to Noto. Johns. That ball, Blackett is there. Nicole Blackett, is this the hat trick? Blackett! Saved! Costanzo puts it back in board, away by Gilchrist, but now it's with DeCola, who's onside. DeCola, that's a really good cross. Macri puts away by Lucas, but still the ball's still pinballing in the area. And now it's a shot from Mullen! Mallory Mullen makes it 3-1. DeCola tries to get it inboard. Burnett, that's a good touch. Mullen! Saved. It's going to be another West corner. And City on the march again. There's the ball for Hodgson. Hodgson is onside. Emily Hodgson, will she go the shot? She squares it. It must be a goal, and it is. And that's another really good ball from Johns to Blackett. Blackett, Macri sprinting in, so's Mullen. Still Blackett. Gets the cross, and no, she goes for goal and gets a hat-trick. Nicole Blackett makes it 5-1. Guajardo looking for a late consolation. Guajardo goes the shot. It's a great shot. It's a great goal by Valeria Guajardo. Remaining. McCauley with the clearance. And that is the final whistle. A fantastic win for West Adelaide here at Kilburn. A great way to mark this historic occasion for the home side.
As here come our two sides. The bar has been set. It's a great run from Kyra Cooney-Cross.
Turn under pressure.
Here come the Socceroos again. Good one on the right foot. And the Socceroos have the breakthrough. What a goal. The Matildas are running amok. Opens up for the shot.
Sinclair at the double. There's the backfoot. Australia head over heels about this superstar.
Just about back in action for the second half from Adelaide City Park. It's first leg of the finals of the South Australian NPL. Adelaide City and Adelaide Comets. Adelaide City taking a 2-1 advantage into the second half. Just to recap what we've seen so far, Lachlan Steed opened the scoring just 11 minutes into Comets. Meanwhile, in the 13th minute, Raphael Liai hitting back. It only seemed like about 30 seconds apart or something like that, but on paper, 2 minutes later, Liai evening the score. But in the 42nd minute, Louis Laurie Latanzio putting Adelaide City 2-1 up. Expecting to see Comets come out aggressive here to even the score, and Adelaide City maybe to be a little bit more patient inside this second half. It's been a franchise start to the game so far. We'll find out the second half holds for us. Comets winning the early free kick, take the short option. Side quarter from the back, which we didn't see a lot of inside of the first half. Both teams favouring that long ball and paying dividends in both cases, but now that things have got a little bit more dry here for the time being, it seems at least so far that Comets might be a little bit more content to hold possession here. As Comets win possession high. Nice safe clearance from City. City on the attack. Oh. Cross not managing to find a target in the middle, but so far already looking a little bit different attack-wise. Oh.
I've made it back, Simon. I've made it back.
Just to see the rain start, and just in time to see Daniel Vaughan called into action there, defending a couple of attempts from City. It's Comets, though.
Tell you what, it's absolutely packed over at the toilet, canteen, bar facility over there. Given the weather, there's a lot of people here tonight.
Well, I was getting my hopes up maybe about 5 minutes ago that we'd seen the wet weather pass us, but looks like it's back here again. And it's not so much rain as just a fine spray that drenches everything, including our notes.
Yep, and our laptops and everything else here.
So if you can hear shuffling, it's the frantic sound of trying to get the electrical equipment covered.
And it's coming in sideways too, which is not ideal. But
no one said commentary was easy.
Sometimes. But as you said, Dan Vaughan called into action there. Liai almost finding the back of the net for a second time. Probably not who everyone would have thought might have won the header in the air. So, City back on the front foot again here. Bazan releases a long ball for Liai to chase. He's got LeCornu there. LeCornu deals with that one.
Well, I wonder if the address at half-time would have been trying to factor in drier conditions when they came out. Just have a spanner thrown in the works when they do get out, and 2 minutes in, the rain starts coming again. So I wonder if we may see maybe players having to adapt a little bit on the fly here.
You didn't really see any rain in the first half. I mean, it rained pre-game, but there wasn't anything in the first 45. It's come back out now, and it's getting a little bit heavier as every second we talk.
Yeah.
So it's going to make it very difficult. Oh, Lira Bonner, a little nutmeg there on Carachir in the middle of the park. And Gianto cuts inside. Garrido couldn't quite control it, but falls for Steed now. Labasso overlapping on the far side, gets his cross in, it's deflected. Garrido's there, and Oxenham had to make the save. Madeline Barros with the effort. Again, that long ball just straight away down the other end. Here's the eye right in front of us. Goes inside Brazan. Looks for that switch to Latanzio. He brings it under control. Shapes up Dimu. Cuts inside. Might have a go here. He does. It's low. Had to be saved by Vaughan. So
I think we weren't quite sure for a second if it was in the net or not.
Ripple, but
yeah.
In the end, it was a strong hand by Dan Vaughan in goals.
Well, this is interesting. So far, we've seen some of the a couple of the attacks from Adelaide City where players are a little bit more content to hold the ball. So maybe a little bit of a change of tact from the first half when they were favouring those long balls, especially early on.
Brazan again will deliver this. Front post, can't beat Watson Steed. Picked up by Latanzio. He's all the way back to Gutierrez, who's been spraying balls just like that all night. Yabachu's there, doesn't win the header. Corny does well again in the air. Now it's clear. A couple of strong challenges there. Franchisi wins it. He's crossed to the back post. Dorba's there. So is Latanzio. Cuts it back, trying to find Brazan, but it's cleared by Adelaide Comets.
Well, we both guessed that would maybe see City come out a little bit more tentative, a little bit more patient, but that certainly hasn't been the case so far. Already launching a couple of threatening attacks and content to try and make a bit of a run, take on that Comets defence. We saw that with some of those long balls, they were just outsized a little bit, and Comets were quite content to just hold position and even isolate Latanzio on that left-hand side a couple of times. So it looks like they might try to open them up here by just holding that possession and drag them out of their usual space. It's Comets on the attack. dispossessed.
Barso did well to dispossess Latanzio, and then I think it was Dorber coming back with a strong challenge, won the ball back for Adelaide City, and now he's away. He's checked on that far side. It looked like it was Labasso getting back. It was. Dorber remains down near the signage. So he did well there, Dorber, to flick it past, because he didn't really have much option ahead, and he won the free kick. So, again, no Nick Booker in the starting lineup, no Peshkinieri in the starting lineup, means Razan will continue to deliver the set pieces for Adelaide City. It's a little bit further away from goal this time. It's a deep delivery. Looks for Abichu. Abichu's there, but so is Dan Vaughan, who catches comfortably and looks to release Irabona on the other end. So a bit of a Adelaide City type tactic there by the Comets. Basso now looks for the switch. One in the air by Gutierrez.
Nice strong jump by Leo.
Leo got back to put a strong challenge in on Indijanto, who didn't quite like that. Indijanto is the kind of player once you do give him, a bit of a taste of his own medicine, you could say, because he's quite a physical player.
I wouldn't pitch at Leo to be able to generate that sort of momentum and force. I'm pretty impressed with that, I've got to say.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to vouch the opposite there, because I remember a few weeks ago I did a game here early on, come flying in, it was against Modbury. I don't know how he stayed on the park, but he did. He collected everything with his frame, his studs and everything. So he knows how to put a challenge in, that's for sure. This one's going to fall for Latanzio. He turns, releases Karachi now. Now Karachi will pick it up, and he's got Latanzio steaming forward. He releases the ball back to him. Labasso's got a challenge, and he gets there, Labasso, and does very, very well. Latanzio, if he had skipped inside there, would have had only Daniel Vaughan to beat. So Jaden Labasso did very well there.
Meanwhile, the eye was a little bit more towards the middle there. Looked like he was sort of getting ready to take him on. I think maybe if he tried to flick it away rather than tracking it forward, it would have found himself in a fair bit of space there, but not to be. Nonetheless, City find themselves with another corner.
Again, a bit of commotion happening in the box. Abichu goes to... No, it's not Abichu, sorry. Can't see who that is through all those bodies. It looks like it's... might even be Andy Janto, who's gone to ground again there. So now, Daniel Brazan will get the chance to deliver this one. His last couple have gone to the near post. That one goes to the same spot. Beats one defender, but not the second defender. Now it's Adelaide Comets. Can they counter-attack? Irabona is released. He looks for Garrido, but it doesn't have enough legs to get over the top, and Dorber happy enough just to turn and clear that one to release some pressure. It's well done by Slattery. Again, Slattery gets the return ball. It's Indijanto now. He might have a go here. Karachi is there. Indijanto still got the ball. Gets into the box. Comes back out. Slattery will clip one in. It's delivered, but not well enough to beat the City, who had got back in numbers. Now Slattery goes all the way back to the corner, and they look to rebuild. Buster inside now. Out to Konomopoulos. Slattery will deliver again. Garrido. Labasso has a go. She was there. Now Liai in some space to run. Labasso chases back, but he releases just in time to Laurie Latanzio. He's got the Cornu. Does he beat him? No, he doesn't. City want handball. Nothing forthcoming. Karachi is there. Steed has enough patience to release that ball. Then comes out. Garrido was sliding across. Just a slight, maybe half a shout for a handball there as he went to ground. He sort of maybe just fell on it. But I did see there's new rules in the Premier League now that a handball these days, and I'm assuming they will come into the rest of the world from next year, is that if it's accidental like that, they're not to be given anymore. So I've seen in the past where they fall onto the ball and get given as handballs. Now they won't be given this year in the EPL, but we're not playing EPL.
That's
we're in the NPL.
It's always good when it's up to up to interpretation. Fans seem to love that. I thought it was quite a neat tackle there from Lecornu. Nice little slide, managed to hold possession by winning it.
So the player that's just come on, Adelaide Comets made a substitution. Player that had just come on the park, I think it was. He's gone all the way across to the other side. It was Oscar Slattery that has been replaced.
Number 25, Oscar Slattery being replaced.
Fergus Lynch, I believe, has just come on.
Sorry, it was Stelios Zacharakis. So it was Adelaide Comets that made the change. Amongst all that, me telling you how the rules are going to work, that's what happened. So, Slattery off. Zacharakis is on, and Liai is in some space. Can he get across into the box? He cuts inside. He goes to ground. And not too sure he really needed to go to ground there because he might have got up and might have got the shot away. Vaughan comes to make sure he's okay. Liai doesn't want anything of it. And guess what? It's Comets up the other end of the pitch. Indijanto. Comets looking a little bit more dangerous, but they're just trying to thread that ball through spaces where there is no space at the moment. That ball was sprung out the opposite side of the park by Nicholas Economopoulos.
They're launching that counter-attack pretty quickly, Comets. Here's another cross.
Lafaso gets one in. Oh, it goes through everybody. There's no one there to attack it. Indijanto wins it. He might have a go. He does. He wins a corner for his team. So Adelaide Comets, similar to what they did in the first half, where they came out all 15, or the first 15 minutes, they came out all guns blazing. They're on top here again.
Well, the game's kind of reverting back to that style a little bit now. We thought City might have been a little bit more conservative in their approach here. It hasn't happened so far, and so far we do see when they foul with an attack, Comets are more than happy to really counter-attack quickly.
Sorry. Aladdin Irabona to deliver this one. Goes to the back post, but that's taken well by Dakota Oxenham on that occasion. Again, that long release. Lecornu's there to win the header. Zacharakis goes back to Lecornu. Dimu. His long ball forward looking for Indijanto. It's cut out by Franchisi. So you just wonder, Simon, how long maybe does Adelaide City wait before they put those experienced legs on in Bucco, and obviously you've got Pishkinari, who's won championships with Campbelltown in the last 5 years of his career. That finals experience will be worth its weight in gold tonight to get over the line.
I'll be interested to see how they utilise those players as well. Will it be try to bolster attack and sort of cement the lead a little bit later on, or will they finally opt to sit back a little bit?
Zacharakis clips that one on, well, he doesn't clip it, goes to ground. Oh, and there could be a free kick. No. Flag goes up for offside. I thought the linesman may have flagged for a foul, but instead, all it is for an offside where the ball must have rebounded back for Zacharakis after his initial cross didn't make it past the 6-yard box.
What's going to be said, Comets are the team with the momentum in their favour at the moment. Most of it built off counter-attacks, but they seem to build those really quickly and really well. As of yet, they aren't able to really threaten close to goal, but in the first half, just 11 minutes in, they managed to make something really, really quickly, and that may be the case in the second half as well.
So Adelaide City with a 2-1 lead now with half an hour to go. Ticked over into the 61st minute. Oxenham goes long. It's one in the air by Zacharakis. Goes back to Dimu, who will go across the pitch to Lecornu, who's got some space. But he can't find any options going forward. He has to go across the other side of the park. Now it's in spaces. Labasso in the middle of the park. He goes back out to Zacharakis. He clips one into the back post. Irabona's there. But Irabona just couldn't quite time the header. But in the end, it was a free header for Irabona.
Yeah, found himself in some space in there, and that attack from Comets looking a little bit different from how they've been attacking so far. Sort of holding possession on the wing and just advancing the ball there. So far we've seen them more trying to attack off a counter, but building something in that case.
He just stopped for a head knock on Lachlan Steed there. He went up for a header, and even though he won the ball, still got hit in the head, so the referee stopped the game there for the head injury. It's Comets on the attack again though. Endigento. Irabona now swap sides. He's on the left. Looking dangerous is Irabona the last couple of minutes. Goes back to Endigento. He tries to slip one through. But Oxenham is there. Took his time to pick it up. In no rush, Adelaide City to really build on this lead. They're just happy to go with the quick movements forward when they can, but other than that, they're quite happy being 2-1 up and just having to defend when they got to defend. No real urge to go forward.
And Comets, on the other hand, mixing up their attack a little bit. Not content to... another cross.
Another dangerous cross into the box. Garrido just half a yard behind the play there. Otherwise, if he was sort of up to speed, he might have got that. But for the first time tonight, Latanzio's lost the foot race against Dimu. Vaughan now switches the ball out to Endigento. So Endigento and Irabona really coming into play for Comets here, getting on the ball on every occasion. Here's Irabona again. He looks to go inside. He does. He gets into the box. Steed's there now. It's turned over. Karachia will find Liai. Liai will maybe look to go inside. He does, but then he goes backwards. Latanzio now will receive the ball. He's got Demu for company. He cuts inside. Gets onto his left. Dorba. Dorba has a go. Does it hit a hand? No, it doesn't. It's hit him in the stomach. As you can see, he's holding his stomach. And straight up the other end is Labasso, who's been in great goal-scoring form this year. And Endigento, clip on in with his left foot. But just as he went to kick that, there was a slight little bobble there, wasn't there?
And finally, stop and play. We've seen about 3 or 4 different attacks happen in that little passage there. It's just back and forth, and all of a sudden it's looking a little bit like how the game started off so far as Comets try to attack, opening some spots for City there. Noticing the City players get up and warm up again, you'd think that if they're going to be making change, they'd be having not too long, 64 minutes into this second half.
I guess the other thing as well you got to maybe think about possibly is that, maybe his Paupers are thinking if Adelaide Comets, grab an equaliser, then they've got to go to extra time, so you might want those legs just, if they can see the game out as it is, great, but then he's got those fresh legs there if they do go into extra time, and not only are they fresh legs, but they're experienced heads, especially the likes of Nick Bucco and Pishkaneri.
The way Comets are attacking at the moment can really just come out of nowhere. Irabona's interesting though as well. On that left-hand side, he can unload a rocket of a cross really quickly, or he can hold the possession and take on a couple of players. He did it a few minutes ago, and he drew about 3 different defenders his way and opened up options for himself in the middle. So
Karachia will pick this up, and maybe just he looked to release Liai again with a long one forward, but it was too much on it. It's gone all the way to Vaughan. I think the thing you were going to see now for the next remainder of this game is that Irabona has now slipped into sort of like a freelance role, which is what Paddy Karachia plays for Adelaide City, where they get them on the ball every opportunity and get them to face forward and cause trouble. So Irabona's been very good out wide, but now you can see he's gone more central now. So he wanted to come and get that ball just before, but he didn't get it. Now he's up supporting Garrido as a second striker. And I guess Comets got really nothing to lose. They need to get that goal to equalise and then try and go on with it. But the danger's still there with the pace Adelaide City have got, and turnovers like that won't help, because then this is what happens. It goes forward long. Demu's now got to win the header against Latanzio, which he just does. Maybe a hint of a foul, but play goes on.
Demu and Latanzio has been the battle that's been going on all night so far, and that's been an entertaining one. Demu doing a pretty good job keeping a lid on him.
Here's Andigento again. He might have a go. He does, and that's not going to trouble Dakota Oxenham from that distance. Looks like we might be seeing another substitution here for Adelaide Comets. It's going to be 27, Misung Park, former West Adelaide player last season. Now with the Adelaide Comets, he's going to replace Lachlan Steed, the goal scorer for Adelaide Comets in the opening minutes. And we can see some movement on the Adelaide City bench as well. Looks like Pishkineri and Bucco may not be too far away. Along with them comes Harry Thomas as well. Fergus Lynch as well.
For Adelaide Comets coming off number 8, Lachlan Stead, for number 27, Sun Park.
Demu wins the header. Adelaide Comets on the attack again, so Labasso in more of an advanced position now. Looking to get on the ball again, but doesn't get it this time. So Adelaide Comets really changing up the way they play at the moment. They've just thrown. Oh, Indigento gets away with that missed touch. Looks to slip through Maverick Bardos, but he wasn't alert to the through ball. In the end, Oxenham just trots over to pick it up and take a few more seconds off the clock as we approach the final 20 minutes here at Adelaide City Park. Adelaide City 2, Adelaide Comets 1.
It's interesting watching Irabona and Andijanto at that point switch positions. Andijanto at a couple of points really hugging the left-hand side here and trying to give, really spread City's defenders wide, while Irabona has a bit of freedom in the middle, but it looks like they're also switching up that role a little bit as well to just keep City's defence guessing a little bit.
Here is Misung Park, goes to Irabona. A bit too far away for a shot. Goes inside. Now it's out wide. Oh, it's a bad touch by Zacharakis, but it's going to fall again for Andigento. It's just about been in everything this second half. He's very influential for Adelaide Comets, but yet to find that equalising goal. Here's the other man who's been good for them, Irabona, but that pass isn't his best one for tonight. Now Leai on the counter, skips past one. Laurie Latanzio, Irabona's there to chase back. That's a great foot race. Irabona, Latanzio had about 20 metres on him, and Irabona come back and puts the ball out for a throw in.
Well, I thought Latanzio was going to be off there. He had space. If he just put the foot down, he might have found himself in a real threatening spot there, but Irabona trying to do it all on his own, from open up space at forward to tracking back and winning the ball.
Gutierrez making out he didn't know where the ball was, but it was about 5 yards away from him. So tactics of slowing this one down and time wasting coming into play. We've still got 20 minutes to go, but I guess it's never too early.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be letting any time go to waste at the moment, because Comets have been looking really threatening over the last 10 minutes or so, probably even a little bit more, 15 minutes or so. And here they are on the attack again.
That's cut out by Dorber though. Karachi will pick it up. Again, he's got pressure from behind. Labasso. The Rock. Skips past Labasso. Looks for Leai, but that's going to be one in the air by Lacornu every day of the week. So that sort of little game plan that they've had. Oh, there's lots of space on the far side. Irabona didn't look up. He had Jaden Labasso in acres of space.
And Labasso's not impressed about that either.
And nor would I. He was away. And all he had to beat was one City player. So a chance goes begging, but, a bad touch by Aladdin Irabona. We're going to have another crack at this referee readout, mate, because it's final football here in SA. It doesn't mean we should change our tone or attitude towards the referees just because there's might be a little bit more to play for in the next few weeks. As we mentioned earlier in the year, Referees are what hold our game together here in South Australia and all around the world, which is why we must continue the initiative we started halfway through the season with the Respect the Ref campaign. We implore all spectators, players, coaches and club staff to appreciate the time, effort and energy that goes into being a referee. All junior match officials who are under the age 18 will be wearing an orange armband to signify they're only just learning. But this initiative is about protecting all referees. To learn more about this, visit the Football South Australia website. Respect starts here.
Now, you probably just missed it, but Captain Nicholas Booker has made his way onto the field. Leai will take his place on the bench.
The goal scorer of Adelaide City's first goal tonight, Raphael Leai, who's had a decent night. He's maybe just died off a little bit in this second half, but as you mentioned, and here he is, straight onto duties, is Nick Bucco. Straight onto the park, straight onto the corner. May we see an instant impact here from Nick Bucco. In fact, he's not going to take this one. But we did see something similar last week where they took a short corner and then just clipped to the back post and they scored. So this one's Bucco. That's a great delivery. Oh. Dorber missed the header. It's going to fall for Latanza. He might have a go. He does. But that one there isn't troubling too many people. In fact, it's troubling no one but the koalas in the trees. So Adelaide City aren't getting as many clear-cut opportunities as they were in the first half, but like I said, they're probably happy just to have those opportunities every now and then, as long as they're not conceding up the other end.
Well, I was curious to see how players like Nicholas Booker will be utilised once he is brought on, given he's usually in an attacking role there. He's had a immediate effect in that respect there, delivering another dangerous ball in off of the initial touch of the corner there. And as I said earlier, in relation to trying to eat up a little bit of time for City, given the way Comets are attacking at the moment, I don't think I'd be too content at this point to try shut up shop and just sit back.
Irabona now on the left-hand side this time. Tries to beat Franchisi. Can't do so. Franchisi gets a foot in. And it's a win for Adelaide Comets there as they get a corner, which will be delivered by Irabona. You can hear the Adelaide City fans behind that goal, trying to urge their team on to get over the line here. Irabona will deliver this one. Goes into the middle. There's a header there. Skipped in. It bounces, and in the end it falls into the hands of Dakota Oxenham. Nick Bucco not too happy that he didn't receive that ball. He had Misum parked for company, but he also had the goalkeeper well off his line, which I'm sure he knew about, as we've seen him do that before. Now it's Dorber running at this Comets defence, but he gives the ball away. It's turned over. It is Park in the middle of the park. Labasso now brings it all the way across by foot. He'll make his way into the box now, trying to link up with Irabona. Gets it back. Gets it back to Irabona. Irabona skips. Oh, no, he doesn't. Brezan did very, very well and had to do very well there, because otherwise Irabona may have had a shot. Now it's Laurie Latanzio. Still looking dangerous. He's got Bucco in the box. Will this get there? It does, but it gets well and truly past Nick Bucco as well. So I think Nicholas Bucco wanted a little bit of a floated delivery there so he could sort of get on the end of that, not something whipped across the box, which in the end, in this weather, Simon, you click on, where you put a ball in like that, it's going to pick up off the dirt, the surface, and just keep going.
Well, we saw
the rain
that
still comes down here.
Yeah, we saw that when it was extra slippery in the first half, but the rain's floating around again, so getting a little bit slippery once more.
Again, Labasso on one of those crossfield runs, finds Endajanto. He tries to find Irabona. It gets there. He's now got Gutierrez. Oh, this time he does beat past him. It's to the back post. But the cross isn't as dangerous as it could have been. I'm going to see another substitution here. This time it's going to be black and white stripes of Adelaide City with Fish Canary and Fergus Lynch also coming on. Looks like Paddy Karachia's night is done. He's put in a great shift. Can't see who else. It looks like Matt Dorber. So Dorber and Karachia, both those two guys that come into the starting lineup tonight, been relieved of their duties with 15 minutes to go.
Just before that substitution did happen, it was interesting to see Irabona finally get himself into the position that he's been looking for on that left-hand side, just finding himself with that little bit of space after beating the defender. But unfortunately, although he delivered an absolute rocket of a cross, no one there to receive it.
So it remains Adelaide City 2, Comets 1, as we approach now almost the final 10 minutes of this elimination final. There is no tomorrow for the loser, Simon. It's sayonara, see you next year.
Comets been pretty relentless in their pursuit of that equaliser so far in this half, and showing no sign of slowing down. Conditions aren't getting any less challenging out there at the moment. The rain's still coming out.
I think it's getting heavier and it's coming sideways again. As long as it doesn't come from the front, we're all good here. Doesn't look heavy, but it's constant. That's the main thing. Well, it's not the main thing. We're okay. It's the players out there and the referees that are getting soaked.
I'll tell you what, last week when we were here Friday night for the game against Olympic, it was looking like pretty nice weather and for a night game, but
here's a chance. Oh, and it's flashed across the goal. And you've almost would have put your house on it. Jaden Labasso, it was with the shot. Couldn't add to his tally of 9 for the season. And the chance goes begging for Adelaide Comets to equalise. And it looks like the referee's going to book Dakota Oxenham here, because I did see him warn him earlier in the half where he went and grabbed the ball, then he kicked it back across the goal, then went and got it again. He gave him a warning for that. This time he's been booked for going all the way to the corner flag to get the ball. Well, when I say he went there, he walked there and walked back. And referee Curtis Wordsworth, who's had a very, very good game, says that is not allowed in my rule book.
Yeah, there was definitely some gamesmanship happening there. I was trying to figure out what exactly it was he was doing there. It didn't make a lot of sense unless you're trying to just eat up time.
Cocker-Rock wins that one in the air. Razan wings it down. Lacornia now under pressure from Latanzio. Gets it away just in time to his goalkeeper. Vaughan will look to go forwards by the looks. So still with the ball and goes long, but can't find his target in Endojanto. Buko's there. Irabona is also there. Labasso now picks it up. Under pressure from Buko. Now Adelaide City really starting to play games with the referee and testing his patience. It was Franchisi on that occasion who picked the ball up and started running back with it. So it looks like some instructions are being given as that ball goes into the box. Looks like Adelaide Comets are going to make another change. Looks like it's going to be Jake Dorsey to come on. For now, though, it's Lacornu, Zacharakis, Park. Oh, a bit of turn of pace there. Can he get across into the box? Has another go. Makes its way across. Can't beat Yared Abichu, who's there. And here is that change, Simon. So, number 98, Jake Dorsey, will come on to replace number 10, Anthony Mavrolambardos.
Substitutions for Adelaide Comets coming off number 10, Anthony Mavrolambardos.
The ground announcer having a better pronunciation that time, so she got it right. It's a long throw, and the referee as he blew his whistle for the foul, he nearly caught the ball. So multitasking at its finest there by Curtis Wordsworth. And again, Adelaide City trying to take some seconds off the clock. Curtis Wordsworth is well and truly aware of this.
I think Oxenham couldn't have walked closer to that ball if he tried. So City, only with about 9 minutes of regular time left.
We've already seen one goalkeeper dismissed today, and that was the Modbury Vista goalkeeper, dismissed in their elimination game. So it's a cruel blow, isn't it, when a goalkeeper gets sent off? You go down to 10 men, you then lose them for the next week.
Well, especially when you're 3-0 up as well, you've got to... I don't know, without seeing the incident, it's hard to comment, but 3-0 up, you'd be wanting to play things safe, I'm sure, when you've got to think of...
I think they were actually 4-0 up at the time.
Yeah,
so
right.
And they ended up winning 4-1, Modbury Vista over the Northern Demons today, so the Northern Demons season is over. And the other results today, Adelaide Uni beating Eastern United, progressing through. The ball was not kept in by Adelaide Comets player who's just come on, Dorsey. So Eastern United and Modbury Vista progressing through to both play the two-legged games coming up in the next 2 weeks. The other teams through today were Adelaide Blue Eagles and Salisbury United. As this falls for Brazan. Now Latanzio's there. He's going to get a corner out of that, so he wasn't interested in having the shot. He was just happy enough to see it out off the Comets player. And of course, this game is 2-1. Did we get a result at Modbury Jets, Simon?
We did. 3-2 win in the end for Modbury. They were able to hold that lead throughout extra time there and avoid penalties, which I'm sure they'll be relieved about given the scars they've got following that Australia Cup fixture.
Absolutely thrilled they didn't go through that pain again. So we have a corner here, 84th minute. Brazan and Bucco again, same routine. The ball's delivered. Abatu's there. Pishkineri wins the header. A rock. Pishkineri's still there. Brazan's there. Is someone going to get a shot away? Abatu's there. Oh. He's in an offside position though. I'll tell you a little bit of an interesting stat, which I've just realised in my head as we were talking about the results, is that the teams playing today, which were Adelaide Uni, Adelaide Blue Eagles and the Modbury Jets, all of them spent time at the top of the ladder in each of the divisions this season. They all finished third and they all won today.
Yeah, right.
So, I don't know if there's something about that, but...
Oh, it's an interesting stat, but
crazy. I just thought of it just then because the Blue Eagles were top for a while in the first half of the season. Modbury Jets obviously top of the NPL for a long time this season. And Adelaide Uni, we know what they did in the first half of the year. They didn't lose until round 12. So all of them finished third, all of them won today, and all of them progressed through in the hopes of playing in that grand final.
Well, I think one thing it does highlight is just how close these competitions are. From NPL right through to State League 2. You know, even making finals last week, we called the game between West Torrens Bacala and Vipers on Saturday night, as well as the game here between City and Olympic. But there was still a lot of implications as a result of the games that we saw playing out. Yep. We didn't know at the start of the games how the ladder was going to look at the end of the day. So just really close competition, which makes things really exciting when we're approaching the end of the year and you don't know who's going to be taking part in finals.
100% right, mate. The competitions they're a little bit more even than they seem sometimes, and I do believe that if I get my maths right of the ladder, I believe it's going to be Adelaide Uni taking on Cove FC next week, and it will be Pontian Eagles, who have newly promoted, will take on Modbury Vista. I think that's how it works. I think the lowest ranked team.
Something going on in front of us here. Nicholas Booker started to take the ball for a little bit of a run, and
so I stuttered a little bit there because I was trying to watch the game at the same time. So it will be Cove FC playing against Adelaide Uni. And Pontian Eagles will play Modbury Vista in the State League 2 finals, week 2 and 3. As Adelaide Comets go forward through Irabona. Comes all the way back now to Damu. This one's going to be clipped in. Does it beat? It does. It beat his own man in the first instance. It's cleared by City. Comes all the way back out. And Gento's under some pressure from Franchisi. Lapasso now. This one goes back across to Lacornu.
Nicholas Bucco's making a real pest of himself.
Standard Nick Bucco when the game's on the line. He really knows how to get under the skin of the opposition players. He's such a smart footballer. Not only will he sell you home for you, he'll sell you a lot of candy here on the football park as well.
He's got a great ability as the captain there to direct his team, but get under the skin as the Comets players and try to chase down 3 of them simultaneously there. Given his experience, it isn't surprising, yet it's still impressive.
So just back to the State League 1 before this corner if we get time. State League 1 next week we'll see West Torrens Bacalla play against Salisbury, and it will be Playford versus Adelaide Blue Eagles. As the corner's delivered, it's not the best one by Irabona. It's cleared. And if Adelaide City hold on here, they will go into next week and play against the Metro Stars, which we've already noted the results they've had against them this year. A 2-2 draw and a 4-0 win. So if they go into that game, well, they've got to get through this next couple of minutes here, but you know what they've done so far. As Comets go forward. Oh, does that hit a hand? Curtis Wordsworth waves it off. There's play on. And as I was just talking about next week, we nearly saw a defining moment in the game.
Yeah, well, I thought I heard a phantom whistle there at some point as well, but obviously not the case. 88 minutes in, Comets still doing their bit to attack, but so far we've seen today, with the moments where they're really desperate, it's not necessarily affected them in the best way.
It's a long throw. It falls on the edge of the box. Zacharakis is there. Demu. Oh, he wound up for a shot, but then chose not to. Zacharakis looks for Garrido. Garrido now. Can he get one into the box? He can't, but it nearly falls for him. Now it's Brazan. Adelaide City may counter-attack and look to end this game. Brazan cuts inside. Got Latanzio in some space. He's going to get to this one. Maybe just sit in the corner flag. Bucco looked to put someone down behind play. He's been hit in the head. And now what's Curtis Wordsworth going to do here? Because he's flagged. I think the linesman's flagged this, so Curtis Wordsworth may have a chat with his linesman to see exactly what happened. We get to have another look on the screen.
Well, I think the ref was watching Latanzio as he ran forward there.
Yeah, he was.
But there was a pretty heavy tussle happening.
Yeah, it's Antijanto and Bucco. Bucco and Antijanto, there's not too much in that. It's a free kick, but there's nothing else. There's nothing in that. Antijanto pulled Nick Bucco back to start with. Bucco's given him a little shove, but there's nothing, I don't think, in my opinion, to be holding his head about as he gets up, and he's fine now. So maybe just a little bit of staging to try and get Bucco into some trouble.
Well, they've been having a fun little battle since Bucco's been on him and Andy Janto, because Andy Janto has been a bit of a rascal in this second half, especially the way he was linking up with Irabona at certain times. And Bucco, the captain for City, just trying to say, just keep a lid on it.
So Adelaide City, we're in stoppage time. This game is now at the discretion of Curtis Wordsworth. I suspect there's going to be at least 3 or 4 minutes to play here. So Adelaide City just with a couple of minutes to hang on. A minimum of 6 minutes to be added on is the word from the fourth official to... Well, I overheard him speaking to one of the coaches, but then he looked up and said it's a minimum of 6 minutes. So that could mean 10 if we have some extra delays. So we're into the second minute of that 6.
Well, looks like City
5 minutes for Comets to rescue and send this one to extra time, keep their season alive. Could be curtains if they don't find a goal in the next couple of minutes.
30 to your point about the...
4 minutes to play.
So not quite the 6+ that we initially thought there.
Might fall just short of that 6, so we're a minute and a half in, so still time for Adelaide Comets to find a goal and remain alive in the NPL final series. Indigento clips one in. A rocks there. Brazan picks up the scraps. Oh, and he's caught late. The referee might come back here because Latanzio's away. He doesn't let the advantage go. Instead, he's going to call it back for a foul, and he's going to book Zacharakis for that challenge. There's going to be another change here late. Harry Thomas looks destined to come on for the last few minutes here. Could potentially be the person that is on the ground in Brazan who comes off. No, it's going to be Laurie Latanzio to come off, as we can see him trotting off from where he nearly picked that ball up a few moments ago. So it's Harry Thomas on. Laurie Latanzio off for the remaining 3 minutes, but I suspect we're going to go over that now that we've had a delay here. So probably another 3.5 to play from this point on.
Well, Latanzio had quite an active game. His defenders for Comets in Dimu and LaCornu really didn't make life easy for him today.
Adelaide City really trying just to get over the line now. Dorsey. Franchise's there. Gutierrez wins the tackle, keeps it in. Harry Thomas tries to backheel it to Gutierrez. It goes out for a throw in. The fourth official, Tom Brickworth, telling Gutierrez just to hurry it up a little bit. So with all the stoppages we've had in stoppage time, this game could go for a minimum of 6, or it could go longer. Abachu wins that. He's just going to kick it back up. It's going to come to the... It's going to come all the way up and nearly ball us over here in the commentary area.
See, commits us with his first touch of the game.
I didn't bring that down as well as I would have liked. But that's all right. We go on here. Dimu, Comets on the attack. Irabona. Can he get across into the box? He can. It's in a good spot. Stokes wins the header, but it goes out for a corner. So it could be all or nothing here. 2 minutes to play.
Irabona with a nice quality delivery there, 4 minutes into extra time, and hopefully he can deliver this corner with...
Vaughan is undecided whether he's going to go or not. He sits on the D inside his own half at the moment. It's going to be whipped in by Irabona. It's floated in. Garrido's there. Garrido launches that into the pine tree behind goal.
Just about launched that one into orbit.
And Adelaide City again in no real rush to take this. And Dakota Oxenham's really playing with fire. He looked to go get the ball from over the fence as the new one was thrown onto the park. He's already picked up a yellow card for time wasting, and he's doing a very good job at attracting the referee's attention here. So 1 minute and 20 seconds was the call from Nick Elligan. I think we're probably going to say there's a minute to go. So we're into the 6th minute, which we were promised. Comets with maybe 1 minute, one last chance to save their season here. Not with that effort. Pishkineri picks it up. Dimu wins the header though. LaCornu will pick it up in some space. Plays it to Dorsey. They need to go forwards, maybe just launch one into the box from Lecornu. No, he goes sideways again, taking precious time off the clock. Dorsey nearly turns it over. Konomopoulos. Damu goes on a little gallivanting run. Tries to beat Buko, and it hits his hand, and that could be curtains for Adelaide Comets. We are just about out of time here to try and find that equaliser. Pishkineri will probably look to waste a few more seconds. Yes, he does. He made out he was going to play the ball and then stepped over it. So
it looks like Oxenham's coming up to take the free kick. Of course, we know he'll be in no rush to do it.
So, Curtis Wordsworth, this ball game is in your hands. Doesn't look at the watch, but I suspect the next time this goes out and back into play, we may see the final whistle here at Adelaide City Park. He allows the throw in. He allows one more attack, does he? He does. It's Labasso. Gutierrez picks it up. The whistle's in Curtis Wordsworth's mouth. And there it is. The final whistle goes here at Adelaide City Park. Adelaide City had to come from behind after conceding an early goal. But they get the job done here, Simon. 2-1 winners, progressing through to week 2. And Adelaide Comets are eliminated.
Well, give it to Comets for keeping the attack going right until the end. They unfortunately just not able to come up with a finisher or just get that last bit of the attack finalised. Some threatening crosses going into there, but attack-wise just not able to finish them off. But meanwhile, City managing to do a pretty good job in absorbing all that pressure and keeping them down throughout that second half.
So Adelaide City end the Adelaide Comets season just like they ended Adelaide Olympics NPL reigns, you could say, last week. And like I said earlier, if I'm correct, I believe they're going to go on to play the Metro Stars next week. Where, we don't know. But they've got the job done here tonight, Simon. But Adelaide Comets, that second half, they had chances, didn't they? They had plenty of chances to not only equalise, but you just felt they were half a yard behind at some stages. Like there was a cross that got put into the box with about 20 minutes to go, and Garrido was half a yard. He was there, he had a tap in. Labasso's shot just past the face of the goal. They created the better opportunities in the second half, but they just couldn't finish.
Yeah, for sure. The way they pressed forward with heaps of gusto, they really managed to get the ball into threatening areas there, but not managing to find anyone who was in any position to either finish it or that last delivery in towards the goal wasn't quite there. But I guess it's safe to say they weren't carrying the momentum into the later part of the season, but I mean, still looked threatening in times against Adelaide City.
Well, Simon, the rain didn't affect us too much. It was a good game. It was a fast-paced game to begin with. We didn't think it would last the 90 minutes. But at the end of the day, it's all smiles here for the Adelaide City supporters behind that goal as they congratulate their players. They're through to take on the Metro Stars next week. It's full time here. Adelaide City 2, Comets 1.